In Hulk Volume 2, Issue 1, the Red Hulk is introduced in his first ever comic series. Here's that story in an audiobook format. Doc Samson leans down, placing his hand in a massive footprint. There were no witnesses, at least none that survived, but these tracks tell the story pretty clearly in graphic detail. He explains while standing in the Odessa Russian village. "Our man landed here," he says, indicating the footprint. He looks over at She-Hulk and asks if she'll stand nearby to play the villain. "Why? I can play the villain and you can play the victim," Jennifer responds, but Samson continues, explaining that the attacker came in fast and ruined his sense of surprise. The Abomination tried to fight back, but the Hulk easily blocked the blow. At this point, it was more than a beating, it was a punishment. Their battle shook the earth, leveling the village rubble they were now standing in. Samson tells everyone that when the Abomination finally went down, the Hulk did something unexpected. He pulled out a gun and shot the Abomination several times. Thunderbolt Ross and Maria Hill look at him in disbelief. "That doesn't make any sense, Leonard, even for you," Ross says, skipping past the fact that he already defeated the Abomination. When does the Hulk use a gun? And where would he find a gun big enough for his hand? Maria adds that they have weapons in the S.H.I.E.L.D. armory that fit that description. Iron Man nods and orders Hill to get him an inventory of all the weapons on the helicarrier. "What's that stuff that looks like glass?" She-Hulk asks, motioning to the shiny footprint in the dirt. Samson explains that their Hulk is giving off so much gamma radiation that he literally scorched the earth where he stood. Finally, Samson rubs his head, telling them that they need to clean up the Abomination's remains. Suddenly, a voice calls out, "We cannot allow that to happen." The group turns to see the Winter Guard standing before them. "Emil Blonsky was a Russian citizen. We will solve his murder and submit our findings to you," Red Guardian tells them defiantly. "Which means it's time for you to go," Ursa Major growls. Samson looks at them with disdain. "Don't feed me your nationalist crap. The Abomination was a blight on the Russian people. We were doing you a favor by cleaning up your mess," he tells them. He steps up to the Red Guardian, explaining that they are dealing with a Hulk, and the Winter Guard is lucky that only one village was destroyed. "We were under the impression that the Hulk was dead," Ursa Major notes as he squares up to She-Hulk. "You want to take a step back, Grizzly Adams," she tells him. Samson becomes angry as Red Guardian slams him in the face, ordering him to back off. "Oi," Maria Hill sighs. Red Guardian quickly recovers, pulling his shield and uppercutting Samson in the face. "This is very stupid, even for an American," he says. She-Hulk turns to fight, but Ursa Major slashes her across the shoulder while she wasn't looking. The Green Woman looks at her blood in shock. "You cut me! You're gonna make someone a great rug," she snaps as she punches the bear in the face. Red Dynamo launches his own attack at Iron Man, but Stark isn't fazed, hitting the armored soldier with a blast. The fight intensifies for a moment before everyone pauses as Ross fires his service pistol into the air. After getting everyone's attention, Ross motions to a young girl standing among the rubble. "I have found a survivor," he tells them. The girl begins to speak in Russian as Tony approaches her. She's saying red. Darkstar explains. Meanwhile, Rick Jones suddenly awakens on the Alaskan frontier, pulling himself out of the snow and heading towards a large cloud of smoke in the distance. As he crests the hill, he looks down in shock at the destruction below him. "Rick Jones, what have you gotten yourself into this time?" he whispers to himself. Meanwhile, over in the Nevada desert, Doc Samson and General Ross enter a hidden base, putting up all of their security measures. They move through the base until they finally reach a prison cell buried deep beneath the earth. The door opens to reveal Bruce Banner in his cell. "Ross, Samson, I was wondering when you were going to ask for my help," Bruce says.